Hello people, this is Patrick. Today I'm going to show some kind of sounds that you can use as part of your composition or audio content. So it goes something like that in a different octave. So you see it's a tone that actually just drops. The way I've set it up for in later, you can, if I hold that note longer, you can see that it's actually a wave that goes down and up in pitch. So I'm going to be doing this in Zeta 2.1 on my DAW that I'm using is Sonar X3. I'm going to show you two ways how to do that. To start off, I'll just delete my synth and the tracks together with it. I'm going to use pull the virtual instrument into my workspace. The MIDI data is pumping into the audio channel. The audio channel is producing the audio signal. So in the starting state, it already has a patch loaded. Zeta is actually quite a powerhouse for a synth. It has 6 oscillators. It has envelope generators and LFO and filters, and it's quite easy to learn, and it's quite actually an awesome synth. This is my initial patch. Hitting the virtual keyboard, no sound is produced. So I'm just gonna use one of the 6 oscillators to generate a waveform. So it has lots of waveforms. So I'm just going to use a square wave. Then I'm going to hit a note on my keyboard. Right, so that's a square wave. So the first method that will be generating that pitch drop would be to use neither of these tricks, and we'll just use the perform. In Zeta or in the synthesizer of your choice, most probably would have a pitch bend controller that specifies how high or how low you'll be able to bend your pitch with your pitch wheel. So right now it's like +2 and -2. So I'm gonna play my note and I'm gonna push my pitch wheel all the way to the max. So that's 2 semitones up and then and 2 semitones down. So I can adjust that range by using my left mouse click and right mouse click. So I can do a maximum of 12 in Zeta and -12 as well. So with that, I'm going to hit my note again and push it all the way up. Using that, I can simulate my pitch drop, well, similar to whatever we were hearing just now in the beginning. So that's too low. Let's try this. So if we wanted a down and up kind of movement, I would do my pitch bend down and up. Okay, this is 1 octave. If I wanted to go more, this is a feature in Zeta. I'm not sure that all synths would have this. This is chromatic, means 12 semitones, so which gives us an octave. But then I can have the options to do a major scale, which is 12 steps in the major scale, which actually adds up more than an octave. So my C note. So that's more than an octave. I have the minor scale, melodic scale, and harmonic and pentatonic. Let's try the pentatonic. So that's really quite a lot of distance that we can cover up the chromatic or the audio spectrum in terms of frequency. So just something extra to push that if you wanted to. The next thing we could do is to do the Portamento mode. So the Portamento, for it to work, I'm going to drop the polyphony to make this patch monophonic. I'm going to hit my note. Portamento is the sliding of the pitch from one pitch to the next. It's not really happening because Portamento time is instantaneous. So I'm going to give it some time for it to slide. I'm going to hit a high C. and then a low C. Okay, give it more time. That was from the low C to the high C. So now the high C was the last note played. I'm gonna hit the low C again. That was quite quick, so I'm gonna increase that Portamento time again and hit a high C. I released that note prematurely. From that high C, I'm gonna hit the low C again. And then it stays in the low C. So this is a bit different from the first patch I showed you, where it goes up and down again. Sometimes we don't want it to go up and down, so Portamento is a good alternative for us to use. Yeah, you can see that Portamento takes its beginning position, that pitch, from the first note we play. So with Portamento it might be a bit tricky. If you wanted to start from a high note, I've got to trigger that high note and make sure that it doesn't sound, and then for that drop to happen. Yeah, so lots of ways to do this. Some are more inconvenient. And finally, we're going to go into that method that uses the oscillators and all that. So I'm going to initialize my program again. So nothing is sounding. Again, we're going to use the square wave from my oscillator. So square wave, and then to just basically make it work, we just need our LFO. So LFO is just a low frequency oscillator which goes up and down in a waveform. So the waveform can stand for a lot of things. So in our case, it's actually a series of values that's rising and falling and rising and falling, and we're going to use that value and to control another parameter in our synth. So I'm going to use a sine wave which has a regular rising and falling pattern. It's not making a difference in my note when I play it. That's because we haven't used that to affect anything yet. So source, I'm going to take the source of the data as LFO1, so we can have up to 4 LFOs in Zeta, and then the destination, I'm going to connect that to my pitch. So the pitch of oscillator 1. So you can see that I can separately address any of the oscillators, which is awesome actually. So I'm just going to use the oscillator 1's pitch. So we have a source and a destination. Let's hit the note again. Nothing is happening because I have not configured that LFO to assign it to a range in the pitch. So using my left and right mouse button, I can target the high and low threshold of that range. So let's try that, and I'm gonna hit my note again. Okay, this is gonna hit a higher note. Seems like it's just it's not really giving us anything musical. It's just going up and down in pitch. Okay, and let's just set it to the full range, and then hit the note again. And which is too fast for our purposes, so I'm going to slow down the speed of the LFO. I'm going to hold down that note again. Okay, so you can see that now it's doing its job. Okay, it's going up and down, but we actually want it to just go down first, and then if we hold it longer, it goes up and down again. There's nothing really controllable at this moment. We can have further control under this curve. We can direct it to be going up or down. So let's try and do a bipolar upward first. So that it's plus, something that's going down is a minus. And then now let's try the minus one. So you see, instead of going up when I first press the note, now it's going down. Okay, let's try the plus one. So you can see that it goes up, and then now this one comes down. Okay, so it's a good start, right? Okay, so what I actually wanted to show you was something at the pitch, which makes it more controllable, because now it can give me like an octave or 4 octaves or a tone. So let's try pitch 1 octave. So you can hear the beginning pitch and the end pitch that they're actually 1 octave. Okay, you notice that in the pitch octave there's no plus or minus. However, we can control the phase of the wave. So now it's free phase. I'm gonna do a 0 degree, and let's see how it sounds. So it's still going up because it starts from 0 and up. So if I do a 90 degrees, which theoretically should be starting at the peak of the wave, right? So the next thing it's going to go is to go down. So two ways we can adjust the directionality of the curve. So it's using one of this, either the plus or the minus, or in our case, in the pitch, there's no directionality, we can use the phase of the curve. Okay, so this is free sync. So as I'm pushing this, I can see how many hertz that wave is traveling. But if I want to sync it to the tempo of my DAW, I can do a 8 note, 14 note, 1/8 note. So that would free me from having to trial and error to get the exact frequency to match my tempo. So in our case, we need it to be free falling, not matching any speed. So I'm just turning it off, and let's see how fast it's going right now. Yeah, it's taking its time, which is alright. I'm gonna try a lower octave. Yeah, this is what we're looking for, and we've got that downward movement in the pitch. So right now I'm just gonna carry on and show how in Zeta we can actually warp the sound, which is pretty cool. In my oscillator, I have lots of things to play around with, lots of options to mess up my sound wave and create more variations to my sound. So warping my wave. There are lots of other things that we can do, so just let me go through some of these. Yeah, you can mangle your sound. This is a bit like overdriving and then ultimately producing a square kind of wave. Bit reduction. And then you got your low pass and high pass. So it rounds out your high frequencies. And then you can, yeah, a few more to go. So you can really tweak your wave beyond recognition. So you can randomize everything, or just the odd frequencies. We have lots of other effects like delay and modulation, which is almost like a chorus. So I can do a stereo chorus. Right. You can put a little bit of a reverb with a damping. So whatever you do there, the values are updated here, so it allows you to have lots of control. With the polyphony, I can do 2 notes with this dissonant kind of interval, and you get yeah, and then we could have an EQ to boost our bass. you're afraid that your levels would clip, you could limit your level. And then this is the signal chain. You can actually do an EQ and then a compressor and then the reverb. You can rearrange it any way you want it. Okay, so you can overdrive it. Lots of interesting things, and Zeta is not really a very new synth. It's been around in the market for quite a few years, but it's still really configurable, and you can really make it do what you want. So, and with the number of oscillators and the L levels, so many that, and you can link them up in many different ways. So I think it's still a really good synth to have. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps piques your interest in sound design and really designing your own sounds to have in your music that nobody else would have. Alright, so I'll see you next time. Bye.